guys, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy VIII. Last time we made it back to Garden and passed our seed exam. This time we're looking good. It's time to party. And yes, I knew she was going to say that because I watched the start of this episode once, so whatever. Squall, this is a party. You're standing by yourself. Why are you standing by yourself? One of the cool things about the soundtrack for this game is this song is called Dance with the Balm Fish. Or the Balm Fish. I always end up slurring it together into Balm, but, you know, whatever. But yeah, it's just kind of a funny name for a song. Yeah, we both passed. Put her there, man. And Squall wants nothing to do with Zell. Want to join the Garden Festival Committee and... gotta go. Apparently you don't want to. Now, if you did not agree earlier to the Garden Festival, she will also be pitching it to you here. We went and we talked to her even before we knew her name when she was in the quad there. And we agreed to help then. I can't remember if we actually need to agree for anything, but I just like being nice to her. Other than that, it might give you access to some additional information later. I'm not sure. Hello. Well, that is a very white dress. Well, I guess it's not very white in the sense of the actual color very white, but it is a white dress. And she's a little on the pale side, too. Who are you? I don't think he likes anybody. Okay. Are you a total dork? Well, at least it's cute. You can't dance, huh? As I've talked about with the animation and the graphics for this game, even though like the fine detail isn't there, like the proportions are right, the movement doesn't look terrible. You know, these look like, you know, they're CG, but they kind of look like people a lot more than the cinematics in, you know, 7 or 8 looked. And it's very impressive to see. Of course, Squall is useless. Did she just give him the evil eye? What? Wait a minute. I thought you said you couldn't dance. Where's this coming from? Oh, we got fireworks. Very nice. Oh, and she's gone. Well, that was... I don't know, what every 17-year-old boy's dream? I don't know. This world is kind of weird. Okay. Thank you. Well, oh. Hey, look, I'm predicting his lines. Hello? You need something? Well, you're my teacher, aren't you? Squall's favorite line. Oh? What's become of you? I don't know. In fact, I don't know all that much about you. Oh, we've got orders already, and it's our party. We're gonna go to the secret area. Where exactly is that? I guess we're gonna go get some people in trouble. Yeah, it's Cypher's deal. Leave it to him. Your last order? Curious. Question? Yeah, what do you mean? That's not an answer. Alright, let's get out of here. What is this all about? This seems kind of an odd switch up. So anyway, we need to go get changed. Do note that we have control over Squall here as well, and you can try and leave even after you get changed, and you'll still get in trouble and you'll still lose seed rank. So don't try and leave the garden. Yeah, but we got our standard uniform back on here. I was thinking about saving, but no, I think we're good. The interesting thing about our ability to roam around right now is, well, it's nighttime now, as you saw. And they've blocked off access to pretty much every area. Except, and I believe they mentioned this before, the only area, obviously other than the dorms, that's actually open at night is the training center. A T-Rexar? It's a strange way of saying a dinosaur, but okay, sure. Defeat it quite easily by using Status Junction. Tutorial, hold cancel. Yay! If you use sleep against a T-Rexar, Junction Sleep to your status attack. It's pretty basic, and I'll explain it, well, kind of now, I guess. Let's see, I believe you... magic. So if we go over here, we do have status stack. We could put sleep on there. Depending on the amount of that we have, influences the percentage chance that we'll be able to inflict sleep. If the enemy has no immunity, and we have 100 of them, we'll have 100%. They'll have no immunity. It's done like that. If they have, say, 50% immunity, you have 100. I would guess the chances are either 50% or 75%. I'm not exactly sure on numbers. If you look at any of the walkthroughs on GameFAQs, some of them are very nice and they have it all laid out for you very simply, but that's entirely up to you. But anyway, before going too much further, I need to get some GFs onto Keistis. Okay, just so you know what I did, I went into the switch command, selected Keistis, selected Zell, grabbed everything that he had, all his magic and GF setups, and then I just removed the remaining GF from Selfie and just put it right onto Keistis. I'm not going to bother changing up HP and magic. There's no real reason for that. And we don't really just have a lot of spells to put in any of these open slots right now. That's probably the one upside to getting all of those abilities out early in the game that I did when we fought the Black Widow, was to get access to raising all of our stats early in the game, because normally it would take you pretty much, I guess, till the end of Disc 1, start of Disc 2 area, before you would be able to actually equip things to all your stats. So meanwhile, you have decent strength, but you have no defense, or something of the like. But if we go over here to the ability menu, we can switch up our abilities. So I've got card set instead of item, because I don't really need that. And you'll notice we learned these before, and we can increase some of these stats. So we can increase our magic and say our vitality each by 20%, which when our stats are absolute garbage means pretty much nothing. but we could put like a spell there and get a little bit more stat if we wanted to. It doesn't really matter one way or the other. But Squall, also has the ability to do this. He has Strength plus 20 already, and Strength plus 40. Now, you'll notice my Strength is 78. When we put something else on there, it will raise that stat, so we do even more damage now. But, well, I guess we could leave it on for now, because I don't really... Yeah, that's fine. In fact, you know what I am going to do, though? I'm going to swap it over to magic, and I'm going to put water there, because I don't really need that massive attack stat. I would actually much prefer to have a really good magic stat. Anyway, now that we've done a little bit of setting up, let us go this way. You could go left, but we're going to come back that way. So for now, let's go in this direction. So I can show off one other thing while we're here. There is a draw point here. It's probably the only one in Balam that I had neglected to show off so far. And it's got Blizzard, so we'll just give you some of those. Why not? And can I have a battle, please? Thank you. There are two enemies you can encounter around here. This is one of them. These are Grats. And Grats are not particularly difficult to deal with. They have both the sleep and silence spells. Spells that you do not already have will show up as question marks until either you have some of them or you've drawn some of them. And so we could fight these guys if we wanted to. I think Squall one-shots them, if I remember correctly. Yes, he does. So we can do that. The other thing we could do is we could attack with someone who doesn't deal quite as much damage, and then use the card ability to card the enemy, and then we won't gain experience. So yeah, two different ways to deal with those guys. They do have interesting spells. Sleep and Silence are both spells I would like to accumulate some of. However, I don't want to do that quite yet because, well, we only have two characters and I want to get enough for all three of the characters that are going to be in my party regularly. Anyway, here we have a save point, which I'm going to use. Okay. Now, she had said something about a secret area, and the secret area is in fact through here. You haven't been here for a while. Yes, I was silent for the whole time, one, because the song's good. Two, just to show you how long it takes for the game to decide we should probably do something here instead of just stare and look at this relatively cool looking whatever the hell that is. That is the garden as we know it. Most of the areas that we encounter are out around, like on the outer rings of it, but I'm not sure what the whole structure in and of itself is supposed to be. It's just this weird thing with a halo. But anyway, yeah, there's lots of, well, dead time and silence and, yeah. What's wrong with you? And why exactly did you want me to follow you here? Dan? Are you sleeping? Oh. Not an instructor. Member of Seed now, just like you. Yeah, the thing here that's kind of interesting is they said it, I think in the tutorial somewhere, that a Seed member can apply to be an instructor. So I guess if she's not a teacher, then she will just be a Seed again. But I guess it would make sense. She might have been here. You know, she said she'd been here before. I guess she was here as a student. But why are we here, specifically? What do you want me to say? Yeah, that's kind of the way it works. Failed as an instructor. He lacked leadership qualities, huh? Now, I've made more than enough jokes, I think, at the closeness of the relationship between Keestis and Squall as, you know, teacher and student. And I don't know, it's kind of interesting to see her kind of unburdening all of her problems on him, and meanwhile he just doesn't seem to care. Only been a year since you got it. Yeah, so she's 18, Squall's 17, a year apart. Are you listening? What a dick! I don't know, empathize? Oh? Just want you to listen. Asshole! Squall, what is wrong with you? Has to take care of themselves. Seems to be one of your little hang-ups there. Don't want to carry anyone else's burden. You've got your own issues. Perhaps they were right. Now, Squall's an asshole. It's plain for everyone to see Squall is an asshole. There's no arguing it. But the thing is, well, this case obviously is not a good example of this. I find myself agreeing with this guy a lot throughout the game. He just has this... It's kind of an edgy kind of outlook on things, but I played this game, you know, back in 98, 99, whenever it came out, and I was an introverted teenager. Because I was an introverted teenager, I kind of identified with a lot of the stuff that he was talking about. It made sense to me. Anyway, just gonna throw a couple of cure spells out there. Okay. Finished off with that battle. Oh, that was a different sound effect. Oh. Hey, wait a minute. Oh, you know me. Wasn't that the girl at the start of the game that Squall was talking about? The one that we... Twisty? Oh, whatever. There's a monster, let's kill it. Alright, we have boss time against 4 bosses. Don't worry, this is not a particularly difficult fight. This guy here's got a... Now the thing is, enemies level up with you. Bosses, for the most part, tend to have a cap on their level at a certain point. Like, I think Ifrit's max level was 6 or 7, and I think these guys max out at like 11 or something like that. That kind of judges you throughout the game, but the rest of the enemies, for the most part, level up with you. So if you're level 50, they're around level 50. This guy we can draw some blinds from. Probably a good idea to grab a couple of those. 1 does not help me very much. 9 is better. That should be good enough. And then these guys have the Protect spell, and this guy has the Shell spell. So you could grab those if you wanted to, but it's not necessary and it's not needed. All the attacks that this guy can do are negligent, they don't really matter. We had enough sleep spells, we could junction them to our status attack to make this battle a little bit easier. And if you're struggling, oops, forgot to hit the thing, then you could do that. As far as the flying guy, he's obviously weak to wind, and even more obviously, he is also immune to earth-type damage if you happen to have that at this point in the game. Or he nullifies, it doesn't do any damage. Forgot to do the thing because I was holding my notes. You can use... those other guys have about 250 HP. You can hit them with Slow, Poison, Doom, and Degenerator. it doesn't really matter. The other guy, this guy here, you can hit with Sleep, Slow, Poison, Doom, and Degenerator as well. I will explain what Degenerator is a little bit later here, but for the most part, don't worry too much. The enemies around here they don't deal enough damage to really worry you. And most of their attacks are basic, they're just physical-based attacks. They don't do a lot of damage. Get the finishing blow there, Keistis. There we go with the critical. But yeah, not a lot to those fights, but if you're, say, a lot lower level than I'm going to try and mention some of these status effects that might be useful to you, the ones that have a decent chance of being, like you actually inflicting them. But I'm not going to go over every single stat or, status that you could inflict on them. Even if it's, say some of them, it's like you have 5% chance of getting this off. I'm not going to mention that because there's no point. But anyway, we get Wizard Stones and a bunch of AP. Who are you guys? I have no idea who any of these people are. Yeah, here's a good question. Anyway, back in the menu here a little bit, if we go over here, we can sort things automatically, and that's nice because we can go over here and it'll organize certain things together, like the spider web that I got from the caterpillar all that time ago. It teaches Keistis blue magic, which is her limit break. So we can teach her something like that for a decent-ish attack. We can teach her Aqua Breath, which is Aqualung or Aqua Rake from other Final Fantasy games. And if we want to teach her some other stuff, we can go to Ability, Card Mod, and we can go over here until we find some useful ones. I believe Mystery Fluid is one, Black Hole is one. I think that was one. Let's see, what else was good? Curse Spike was one. Alright, what else? I think there's maybe one more that I can get right now. That would be the Malbro one. Oh, I could do the Ruby Dragon too. And I'm not doing that right now. Yeah. So those new items that I got should be over here. So we can teach Fire Breath, Bad Breath, Level question mark Death, which I knew at one point, though I can't remember. The question mark is determined by something. I don't remember off the top of my head what it is. I'll look it up at some point. And Degenerator. And the reason why we got into all of this is so we can learn about Degenerator. Degenerator is a limit break for Keistis, and it gives her the ability to basically erase an enemy from the field. I don't think there's more than a handful of enemies and bosses in the entire game that are immune to Degenerator, so it's a very useful ability to use. Not that we really need to, because most enemies, at least normal enemies, we can usually kill with a single hit anyway. At least the way I'm playing. If you're not playing the way I am, it might be a very useful ability for you to have. But I figured we'd teach her some spells while we were at it. You may not have enough of the Ruby Dragons to teach Fire Breath, but that's not a big deal. I wouldn't worry about it at all. Because, well, Fire Breath's not all that great anyway. In fact, most of her limits really aren't all that great. They're interesting and unique, but they're not really the most offensively useful. Alright. Well, I guess we're finished with that. Leave Keistis with something, or Keistis left Squall with something to think of there. And for whatever reason, they make us go back here without any music. What are you doing here, Zell? Why? you got your own rooms. I guess they were kind of dorms before, where you basically had like a door and like a bedroom, and that was it. New rooms right across the hall from your old one. Okay. Why were you told to say that? I don't know. But yeah, now they just warp you right into his room, and he has a bigger room. And they've moved all his stuff. I'll just go to sleep. Okay. Well, that didn't take long. Squall's probably still got a hangover from the night before. Going to Timber. Meet by the front gate. Okay. Now, it's a lot bigger in with HD mods on, or with the mods that we have here. But if you'll notice on the shelf there, it just disappeared. There was a Weapons Monthly magazine there. Now, there are two different things to note here. Let's see, let's go to status on Zell. And if you keep hitting your confirm button, eventually you'll see he has a number of limit breaks here. And in order to change the button combinations on the PC version to the ones that I want, it screws up the limit breaks. There's no way of fixing this from what I've been able to figure out. But in the original version, it was circle X, and anytime there's a triangle, there was normally a circle. It would have been easier if it would just keep the circle, but I couldn't do that and then have triangle also be the menu. It's like menu button and then X. It's really stupid that way. But regardless of that, he learns new ones of these through magazines, which we don't have yet. The other thing we get from magazines, which we just picked up one, is new weapons. But you don't actually need the magazines to get the new weapons, you just need the items required. So if I have a steel pipe and some screws, I can make this even without having found this magazine. The same is true for Zell's limit breaks. You supposedly learn new ones by opening up a new magazine, but at the same time, if you know the right combinations, because he's able to enter certain combinations of moves, which opens up another combination, and if you know the right sequence of events, you can get to ones that we don't even know yet. So that's interesting if you care about that. That's not the best way to use Zell's limit, and I will demonstrate that later, but yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much all the time we have for today. Next time, I guess we're going to begin our first mission. Cool. That's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.